City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. Here is the fierce and relentless former world title challenger, Julio Cesar El Rey Martinez.
Welcome back, everybody, to Boxing on the Edge. I hope everyone's doing well. This coming Saturday, we have a magnificent fight between Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez and Julio Cesar Martinez. This is an amazing fight. At least I think so. Now, obviously, Chocolatito was supposed to fight Estrada for a third time. Estrada ended up pulling out. What replacement comes in? Martinez. Now, I actually prefer this fight. You know, like, I know people would have loved to see the third Estrada fight. Me too. That would have been a guaranteed, yeah, I was going to say war, but yeah, they go at it. They high skill, technical war. And maybe we'll get that eventually, you know, but for right now, the stylistic matchup between these two guys is quite fascinating. You know, it's kind of one of those fights that both of their mums will probably be like, oh God, do you really have to get involved in that fight? I'm sure Chocolatito's mum does that for every fight because he's in just some entertaining brawls, and you know, he's just a magical talent. You know, we've got to really embrace fighters like Chocolatito, because watching him in action is just quite breathtaking, you know. And Martinez brings his own unorthodox, unusual style, I guess. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like some of the combinations that he throws. It's quite amazing, really. So anyway, this fight, I don't even know what weight this fight is at. The little guy's down there, what is it, 115? Flyweight, super flyweight? My knowledge of the little guys is very, very limited, so forgive me on that. And perhaps anyone can correct me in the comments, or I'll probably look it up after. But, you know, this is, Chocolatito is obviously seen better days, although he's still fighting what looks like at a very good high level. That fight with Estrada for a second one, a lot of people thought he got robbed, some people thought he lost, whatever. I didn't score it. It was entertaining. I enjoyed the fight. It looked fairly close to me. So I don't really know. I'd have to watch it fully again. But, you know, a lot of people are trying to say that he's, you know, boxing's trying to get him out the back door. But is this his last opportunity, or are they trying to bring Martinez through? Who knows? But it certainly makes for such a compelling fight stylistically. You know, let's start with Chocolatito. Obviously, he has been a true warrior to the sport of boxing, and as I said, somebody we should cherish. You know, because when you realize that type of talent that you're living through, and you look back, it's like in football with Messi and Ronaldo around. You know, it's got to be grateful for these guys that we've been watching, because it might not happen again for a long time. So Chocolatito, I think, is like similar to that. Fighting style's amazing. Like, he just breathtaking combinations. Work rate is insane. He's just a true warrior, fights the best, wants to constantly fight the best, got knocked out heavily in an absolutely savage knockout, and came back, kept going, wants to fight the best, wants to be the best. You know, you have to love that, you know, and if every fighter was like that, we would get an even better sport, and that's a fact. So, you know, that's him. So, I mean, look, hopefully he's got a little bit left in the tank to put on another good performance, because it's going to be a brutal fight on Saturday. I can tell you that. I think it's going to be a brutal fight. So, on to his opponent, Julio Cesar Martinez, who I only really just sort of, I think it was the fight against Edwards where he just, you know, I think it was a non-contest in the end, but I think we kind of knew where that was going. He was hammering Edwards downstairs, I think. I mean, he's a bit reckless. Look, he's with Eddie Reynoso, okay? Reynoso gets a lot of praise, but let's not forget, practically all of his fighters have all tested positive, okay? Now, and, you know, they've all been banned, and they've all fought, and, you know, it really drives me nuts when people just forget about this, you know. I know Canelo too, he's done some good things for the sport, but let's not forget that they tested positive, right, for a banned substance. And I didn't want to make this go into that really. It just occurred to me. I was like, wait, you know, what are they doing up there? Anyway, he is with Reynoso, great trainer. I'm not sure if that you know, the defense that he's taught Canelo has really applied to Martinez. Because he just doesn't appear to be defensive minded at all. In fact, he makes one of the most strangest mistakes and most obvious mistakes I think I've seen and noticed for a while. And I was going to mention it in the fight plan, and maybe I will too, but I'll talk about it now. But like, he does it almost every single time. When he's about to punch, he puts his hands up like this. Okay, when he's not punching, his hands are here. So, and he'll do this and then he'll punch. I'll show you the clips. It's quite amazing how many times he does this. So you'd have liked to thought that Chocolatito's camp would have done some homework on this. And how do you get around that? Well, look, Chocolatito, typically you would either want to step back, or maybe if you have a classic jab, you could do that. But Chocolatito doesn't really have a classic hard flashing jab. He uses it sort of just more to get in range. But nonetheless, if you were smart enough, which Chocolatito obviously is, I would step in and still push his gloves up or whatever like that, and then throw some combinations in, because it's all, you know, obviously if he's about to punch, step back, but that is a massive tail. Like, it's just so crazy how many times he does it. So hopefully maybe they'll be able to capitalize on that. Let me talk about the fight breakdown too, actually, just transition into that, because I think it is so fascinating. Like, Martinez comes out, he's fast, he's powerful, he's unorthodox, which can catch a lot of fighters off guard. You know, I mean, I've ever seen a fighter throw a left hook to the body, left hook to the head, left uppercut, all in the same breath with the same combination. Just very hard to deal with, I can imagine, if you're just dealing for the first time, especially if they're fast punches. He's obviously brave, he's got that warrior spirit, you know, he's always kind of beating his chest, and like, which might be his downfall, to be honest with you, because he's going to get involved in a massive fight, and you would certainly favor Gonzalez based on his experience and his ability to hopefully push Martinez back at some stage, because Martinez is not great at fighting on the back foot. But when he does, in fact, both fighters have a very high guard. Martinez is a little higher, and then, you know, he'll let you know when he's about to punch. But Gonzalez does it too. And that is a bit of a danger too, because Martinez has an awesome left hook to the body. And so when Gonzalez comes in, very high guard like this, he does lean his torso forward, which might be deliberate to get him a little bit away or narrow the gap a bit. But there are openings for both guys downstairs. So I can see Martinez coming out early, and, you know, maybe Gonzalez being a bit more cagey and not like being as gung-ho, because you got to weather that storm and try and gauge the tempo and the energy of these shots that are coming in out of nowhere. Because, you know, once he does, Gonzalez is a tremendous second half of the fighter. His engine is ridiculous. He throws a lot of punches. So I know Martinez hasn't been stopped yet, but I honestly think he might get stopped in this fight. I think if Gonzalez can just weather the storm early, you know, not get caught flush with too many hard shots, and just gauge the tempo and the unorthodoxy of Martinez, and eventually try and push him back. You know, that I think that's going to be a key too. If he can get in the pocket and push him back. But Martinez can let off some dangerous shots in the pocket as well. This is going to be a great fight, man. I love fights like this. Stylistical puzzle, really. It's like, I mean, just two warriors, two Aztec warriors, two beautiful fighters in their own way. Listen, I cannot wait. I can't wait for this fight. I think Gonzalez will end up stopping Martinez in the late rounds. I'm going to say 9 or 10. But beyond that, I expect a fascinating fight. I expect a violent fight. I expect a complicated fight with all these different combinations going off. I expect ebbs and flows. I expect both of their warrior spirits to get challenged and come out. Someone might get dropped. It's all you want, all the ingredients for a magical fight, you know. And I love these kind of fights, as I keep saying. I know I'm repeating myself, but I just love it. So anyway, I hope both guys come out healthy, as I always try and say, because this is definitely a very dangerous fight for them both. And may the best man win. And in terms of what they do after, like I said, I'm not as knowledgeable on these little weights down there, the lighter weights, so I don't really know about their options too much. I just hope they they get a nice ice bucket and put it on their head, and just they're gonna get punched in the head a lot, and maybe even the body. So, you know, I think it could be. I think the body shots will be a factor in this fight, because they both leave themselves wide open, you know. But ultimately, I think Gonzalez will overwhelm Martinez and break him down, tire him out, and stop him 9 or 10. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments section below, and let me know your thoughts on the fight. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and liking the video. And that is it from me. I'll see you soon. Boxing on the Edge. Take care.